Black rain on the parish road, red mud beneath the cross. The chapel doors were open, but every prayer was lost. Cain ruled Hollow Ridge. From a chapel built to stone, he spoke of fire on Sunday and collected debts alone. Every farmer paid in tribute, every widow signed her land. Those who questioned holy business disappeared beneath his hand. There were graves without inscriptions near the orchard by the creek, and a bell that rang at midnight, though the tower had been weak. Then one evening Mara Whitlock rode in wearing funeral black, with her father's empty Bible and a shotgun on her back. The devil wears a collar when the righteous look away. Every sermon hides a shadow when the preacher owns the grave. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the price. Mara entered during service while the congregation prayed. She laid 12 missing portraits where the silver offering lay. My father came to question you, my brother vanished too. Every family in this valley has lost someone because of you. Reverend Cain kept smiling, said grief can poison what you see. Then the oldest churchyard keeper rose and handed her a key. It opened up the cellar underneath the chapel floor. There were ledgers, rings and clothing, and dried blood beside the door. Every name had land beside it, every death had bought him grain. He had built his holy kingdom out of hunger, fear and pain. The devil wears a collar when the righteous look away. Every sermon hides a shadow when the preacher owns the grave. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the price. Cain pulled iron from his Bible and aimed it at her head. He said, your father begged for mercy before I left him dead. Mara's finger found the trigger, but her mother crossed the aisle. She whispered, don't become his mirror, let the whole town see him try. Then Cain fired through the chapel and the stained glass shattered red. The churchyard keeper took the bullet and fell bleeding by the steps. The congregation rose like thunder, every pew became a wall. For the first time Reverend Cain stood alone before them all. They dragged him through the doorway to the road beneath the rain. Every widow named a husband, every mother spoke her pain. Mara found her father's signet in the pocket of his coat. For 1 second all she wanted was her vengeance at his throat. She raised the gun toward heaven the chapel steeple, and the flames began to speak. He reached the wooden crossing where the rotten beams gave way. The river took the preacher before dawn could judge the day. No one called it holy justice, no one praised the way he died. They had spent too many winters letting righteousness disguise. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the pride. Blood on the parish road, 12 graves opened at first light. Truth arrived in smoking sorrow, but it could not make things right. There was blood on the parish road where the blackened chapel stood. They tore his name from every doorway, but still smelled him in the wood. Gray dawn on the parish road, 12 crosses by the creek. The chapel bell fell silent, but the dead had learned to speak. Red smoke over Hollow Ridge, black horses in the rain. A widow crossed the county line with 3 graves in her name. Red Hollow, 7 winters long ago, after Shaw took everything her family used to own. Shaw controlled the cattle market, owned the sheriff and the bank. Every farmer signed his papers or woke choking in the flames. And his husband fought the order, said their land would never sell.
3 nights later, men in masks turned their farmhouse into hell.
Her 2 sons were found at sunrise near the ashes of the barn.
Etta crawled out through a window with their blood across her arms.
Every widow keeps a fire when the law refuses flame. Every grave becomes a witness when corruption owns the name. Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
black veil cutting through the rain.
Every rider knows the sorrow,
every bullet knows her name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
hear the dead beneath her boots.
You can burn a family's kingdom,
but the ashes keep the truth.
She rode straight into the tavern where Shaw's cattlemen would drink.
Laid 3 shells upon the counter, then she ordered something neat.
Old bartender Amos Turner watched her through his clouded eye.
He had seen the masked men riding on the night her children died.
From beneath a broken floorboard,
he removed a leather book.
Every bribe and stolen property, every farm that Calder took.
There were payments to the sheriff, orders written in Shaw's hand,
and the names of 20 families forced or murdered for their land.
It had closed the bloody ledger, said tonight the county lands.
Amos answered, truth is powder, choose what stands when it all burns. Every widow keeps a fire when the law refuses flame.
Every grave becomes a witness when corruption owns the name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
Black veil cutting through the rain.
every rider knows the sorrow.
Every bullet knows her name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow.
Hear the dead beneath her boots,
You can burn a family's kingdom,
but the ashes keep the truth.
Calder waited at his mansion with 12 rifles by the gate. He said,
Your husband chose his ending.
your boys inherited his fate.
Etta lifted up the ledger while the lightning split the night.
Then explain your name and signature. Beneath each farm you set a light.
The sheriff reached to take it, but his deputy drew first.
He had found his father's acreage listed underneath the cursed.
The ranch hands lowered rifles one by one into the mud,
Calder shot the young deputy.
and the courtyard answered blood.
Hit a fight through Calder's shoulder, spun him backward through the door.
Then the widows of the county came like thunder to the porch.
Every woman carried pictures,
Every farmer carried deeds.
every family had been buried under Calder's wealth and greed.
They dragged him toward the stable where her husband's breath still hung.
Etta wrapped the rope around him while he begged with silver tongue.
For one breath she saw her children standing barefoot in the flames.
Then she heard her youngest whisper,
Don't let him decide your name.
she cut the rope and faced the people.
He will answer in the light.
But Calder kicked the fallen lantern.
And the haystack caught the night.
Fire climbed the mansion wall.
Horses screamed and then withdrew.
Calder ran back for his fortune, and the burning rafters flew.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
Black veil glowing in the flame,
Every rider knew her sorrow.
but revenge had changed her name.
There went the widow of Red Hollow, with the ledger and the truth,
Calder died beneath his kingdom.
buried by the wealth he used.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
Past 3 crosses in the rain,
She had broken Calder's empire.
but no victory killed the pain.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
While the mansion turned to coal,
Justice saved the stolen valley.
but it could not make her whole.
Great dawn over Hollow Ridge.
3 roses by the lane,
A widow left the county line.
and never spoke her name.
Iron wheels through Widow's Run. Black rain across the pines. 7 chains inside the coach. 7 men without a trial. Marshal Gideon Russ drove prisoners through the mountains after dark. No courthouse ever saw them, no confession bore a mark. He called them thieves and killers, then collected county gold. But beneath the prison wagon, other contracts had been sold. Mine owners paid him double for the bodies he delivered. capital knew their names. Every chain around a stranger added acreage to Rusk's estate. When the law becomes a business, every badge can hide a knife. When a man is priced in silver, someone profits from his life. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. I'm screaming in the rain. Every wheel is carrying someone who will never see his name. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. Hear the shackles strike the floor. When corruption drives the horses, death is waiting at the door. Jonah Flynn had ridden with them until the spring of '93. Rusk had framed him for a robbery and sold him to the Eastern Quarry. 5 years breaking stone in darkness, left one eye and half a hand. He escaped beneath the landslide with another prisoner's tag. Now he waited in the timber where the road became a ledge, with 3 widows from the valley and a rifle at the edge. Each had lost a son or husband to the coach that crossed at night. They had begged the judge for answers, he had barred them from the sight. When the law becomes a business, every badge can hide a knife. When a man is priced in silver, someone profits from his life. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. I'm screaming in the rain. Every wheel is carrying someone who will never see his name. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. Hear the shackles strike the floor. When corruption drives the horses, death is waiting at the door. Above the driver, horses reared against the storm. One guard tumbled from the mountain, one went reaching for his home. The widows cut the rear lock open, 7 prisoners hit the mud. Then Rusk stepped down behind them with his silver badge in blood. He smiled at Jonah's ruined hand. You should have died beneath that stone. Jonah answered, every man you buried made sure I came back home. Rusk fired first through Jonah's shoulder. Jonah's rifle answered twice. The marshal fell beside the wagon, staring upward at the lightning. Jonah stood above the body, rage still hammering his chest. He could end the man who sold him, give the mountain what was left. Then a prisoner named Thomas raised the marshal's leather case. Inside were deeds and payment ledges, every victim, every place. Jonah lowered down the rifle. Dead men never face a sentence. Tie him where he tied the others. Let the daylight hear confession. They chained Rusk inside the wagon with the guards who still survive. Then they drove toward Briar County as the eastern sky went white. But the wounded marshal whispered to the guard beside his knee. The guard kicked loose the brake line near the bridge above the creek. The black coach struck the railing, iron shattered, horses screamed. Jonah pulled 3 men to safety before the wagon left the street. Rusk and both corrupted guardsmen vanished in the flooded gorge. The ledgers floated down the river, but one widow saved them all. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, iron burning in the rain. Every wheel had carried someone, every mile concealed a name. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, shackles broken on the floor. When corruption drove the horses, judgment waited at the door. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, down beneath the river foam. 7 prisoners saw the sunrise, but not every man came home. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, and the county learned the cost. lost. Justice came through blood and thunder, but it could not raise the lost. No wheels through Widow's Run, only rain across the pines. 7 chains hang in the courthouse, beside 7 written names. One snake beneath the floorboards, 2 riders on the ridge. Black smoke above the wheat fields, red water under the bridge. Rattlesnake Hill belonged to Harlan Creed. At least that's what his papers claimed. He taxed the rain, he taxed the harvest. He put a price on every grave. When farmers failed to meet his number, Creed's riders came before the dawn. They took the cattle, burned the houses, and nailed eviction to the barn. Young Jacob Hale had watched them murder his father near the county line. His mother died the following winter, still clutching that eviction sign. Jacob left with blood behind him, swore he'd never cross that hill. But 12 long years of rage and whiskey never taught his hands to still. Every field remembers fire, every fence remembers hands. When a tyrant taxes breathing, blood becomes the final payment. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, 1 black coin and 1 last will. Every acre, every grave feeds the mouth that never fills. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, hear the iron, hear it ring. When the poor have nothing left, they come to collect from the king. Jacob rode back during harvest with a scar beneath his eye. He found the town half empty, found the churchyard twice its size. At the general store, Ruth Carter slid a ledger through the grain. It showed every false assessment, every bribe and every name. Creed had paid the county judge, had bought the sheriff's loyalty. He claimed abandoned farms as payment, then sold the land to companies. Ruth said, my husband fought them, they left him hanging from a tree. They called it legal execution, they made our children watch with me. Jacob closed the leather ledger, heard his father in the wind. He said, tonight we end the taxes. Ruth replied, then count the dead first. Every field remembers fire, every fence remembers hands. When a tyrant taxes breathe and blood becomes the final payment. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, 1 black coin and 1 last will. Every acre, every grave feeds the mouth that never fills. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, hear the iron, hear it ring. When the poor have nothing left, they come to collect from the king. Creed held court inside his mansion with 12 gunmen at the gate. He said, the law has made me wealthy, God rewards the men who take. Jacob threw the ledger forward, then read the names beneath your boots. Creed laughed and raised his pistol. Dead men never argue truth. Ruth fired fired through the chandelier. Darkness swallowed marble halls. Farmers stormed the eastern doorway. Rifles answered through the walls. The sheriff turned against Creed when he found his brother's name. Creed had seized his family homestead while he wore the county badge. Then the mansion window shattered and the oil lamps kissed the floor. Flames climbed up the velvet curtains as the gunmen fled the war. Jacob found Creed in the cellar with the county gold in sacks. Behind him stood a row of rifles and a tunnel through the back. Creed aimed first and struck Booth's shoulder. Jacob answered through the smoke. The bullet tore across Creed's body, drove him hard against the stones. Jacob stood above the tyrant, rage demanding one last shot. He saw his father by the doorway, saw the grave his mother got. Creed whispered, "Kill me, Hale. You came for vengeance, not the law." Jacob lowered down the rifle. "You will hear each name you bought." They dragged him to the courthouse while the mansion burned behind. Every widow read a sentence, every child described a crime. But before the state could take him, Creed's remaining riders came. They opened fire across the square and turned the courthouse into flame. Ruth survived beside the fountain. Jacob fell protecting her. Creed was crushed beneath the bell tower when the burning rafters turned. They pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill with broken bones and iron wheels. Every acre, every grave had fed the mouth that never filled. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. Heard the courthouse bell stop ringing when the poor had nothing left. They tore the crown away from the king. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. But no rebellion leaves men clean. Creed was dead, the farms were free, and Jacob never saw the spring. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. Ruth rebuilt the county hall. She carved the names of every family into one black granite wall. One snake beneath the floorboards, no riders on the ridge. The green weed above the ashes, clear water under the bridge. Oh. Rattlesnake Hill belonged to Harlan Creed. At least that's what his papers claimed. He taxed the rain, he taxed the harvest. He put a price on every grave. When farmers failed to meet his number, Creed's riders came before the dawn. They took the cattle, burned the houses, and nailed eviction to the bond. Young Jacob Hale had watched the clock stopped dead at midnight. The church bell cracked in two. Red lightning crossed the graveyard, and every blackbird flew. Gravesend stood beyond the mountains where the railroad lost its name, built with timber from a village that the founding fathers burned in flame. They called the dead old rebels, said the army cleared the lane. Then they raised a courthouse over where the bodies still remain. Four families ruled the valley, on the bank the mill and law. Every Every child was taught their version, every witness learned to fall. But one survivor left the ashes, just a boy with blinded eyes. 30 years later, Gideon Cross came riding underneath black skies. A town can paint its history, but blood comes through the stain. Every lie becomes a doorway when the buried speak again. This is the last night of gravesand. Hear the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men will remember how they died. This is the last night of gravesand. Fire walking street to street. When a town is born from murder, judgment rises through its feet. Gideon entered the old courthouse with a map beneath his coat. It showed tunnels from the graveyard to the mansions on the slope. In the basement, chained in iron, stood the railroad's wooden chest. Inside were orders from the founders and the names they had erased. Mayor Thorne arrived with gunmen, Judge Bellamy and Reverend Shaw. They had fathers in the ledger, every signature in law. Thorne said, dead men own no country. What was taken made us strong. Gideon answered, then your children have been living on the wrong. The judge commanded his arrest. The preacher raised a silver cross, but the youngest town deputy read his own grandfather's loss. A town can paint its history, but blood comes through the stain. Every lie becomes a doorway when the buried speak again. This is the last night of gravesand. Hear the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men will remember how they died. This is the last night of gravesand. Fire walking street to street. When a town is born from murder, judgment rises through its feet. The deputy rang the warning bell. The gunmen opened fire. The windows burst along the square, and the records caught the flame. Gideon fought through smoke and timber, dragged the ledger from the hall. Mayor Thorne escaped on horseback toward the old memorial wall. The ground began to open where the railroad tracks had crossed. Bones rose white beneath the rainfall, showing graves and what it cost. Then the preacher faced the people, shaking underneath the storm. Our fathers built this town through murder. We protected what was born. Judge Bellamy shot the preacher before another name was read. The deputy fired through the judge, and both men struck the steps. Gideon found the mayor kneeling at the monument of stone, with a rifle in his right hand and a child held close. Thorne shouted, drop the ledger, or the boy will join the dead. Gideon lowered both his weapons, then the child bit Thorne's hand. The rifle cracked into the darkness. Gideon struck him to the ground. Every family filled the graveyard as the storm came crashing down. They dragged the mayor to the gallows where the founders once had stood. The widow screamed to hang him, and the workers raised the hood. Gideon looked toward the open earth, toward the bones beneath the rain. I came here dreaming of his death, but death won't clean the stain. He cut the rope and faced the crowd. Make him speak before the state. Let him live to name the guilty. Let him carry what they made. But Thorne broke free and charged him with a blade beneath his sleeve. The deputy stepped between them, and the knife went through his ribs. Gideon drove the mayor backward through the burning courthouse door. The roof collapsed around him, and Thorne was seen no more. This was the last night of gravesand, when the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men heard the truth they could not hide. This was the last night of gravesand. Fire walked from street to street when a town was born from This was the last night of Gravesend, where the old foundations fell. Gideon carved the stolen names upon the ruins of the bell. The clock moved on by morning through the smoke and falling rain. Gravesend vanished from the map, but the dead regained their names.